Excellent. We are live. When I was 7, I began writing stories. I wrote about stuff like, the puppy that I kidnapped from the neighbor when I was 4, and stuff like how to catch and gut a fish, like my dad taught me. But the writing was never really my favorite part. It was sharing my stories out loud. One day in 2nd grade, we got this assignment to write about something that we were doing on the weekend. That was the weekend that my famous cousin, Raymond Bork, was coming to meet us for the very first time. He played hockey, and the entire family went to go see the pregame hockey practice. After practice, Ray came out of the locker room and he walked right up to me. He crouched down, he smiled, he took my hand, and then he kissed my cheek. And I had never been kissed before. So as soon as I got home, I wrote down everything that I could remember about that moment. And then Monday, I began to read my story out loud in class. And I heard giggles. And then at lunch, all I heard was Karen and Raymond sitting in a tree. So after that, I decided that all my personal stories were going to stay in my diary. I dropped out of school at 15, and I got a job, and I moved out of the house. It wasn't until about a decade later that I remembered how much I loved writing and sharing, so I decided to go back to school. In school, in my English class, my teacher Ian, he had us writing a ton of essays, and it felt so good just to be like sharing my work with someone again. I got back one of my assignments, and he wrote on the front, "Karen, I will always scan the shelves for your publications." I thought, like, wow, me? And there was like a shift in government, and all of my financial aid was cut. I had to get a second job. And as a single mom, I just couldn't handle it all. I mean, life got bananas. So I quit school again. And then the only thing that I was writing was my grocery list and PA copy. You know, those announcements that you hear in department stores? And that was me. About a decade later after that, I'm on the beach with my family. There's my husband-to-be, Barry, on my left, and on my right, Jake and Cass, and our Whiskey, our dog. And we're all walking down the beach, and out of the corner of my eye, this police officer is walking towards us. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And he walks right up to me, and he stands in front of me, and he says, "Do you know where I can find Karen Abel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And he said, "I'm so sorry, ma'am. Your father, Gordon, he passed this morning." I reached into my pocket, and I remembered I quit smoking the year before. My dad's dream was to see the success of his children. And I'm not done making you proud, Dad. Those were like my first thoughts. For the first time in my life, I felt like I had no choice, and that time is a gift I could no longer take for granted. So I not only wrote the book, but I'm going to share the stories with you in the book. And today we are going to start with the introduction. Every week I will be reading a story from the book, Be Weightless. You do not have to have the book, but if you'd like to get it, the link is in my bio. It takes a little bit because all the shipping in the world is a little slow right now, but that's cool. If we haven't met before, my name is Karen Wilson. I am a creative professional. I'm an author. And let's just begin and see. You'll be able to see through the introduction if this is something that you would like to tune into every week. So the way this is going to go is I will be coming live, we'll be sharing a little bit, and if you want to hang out till the end, you can go ahead and ask some questions. If you're watching the replay of this, wherever it's going to live, then go ahead and drop your comments and questions, and we'll be sure to keep this discussion open. So the title of the book is Be Weightless, Like Your Body, Love Yourself. And let's begin. I don't have the whole book memorized, but I did write it. Okay, so this is about a book about being weightless rather than seeking the weight loss, in everything, and like just kind of letting it go and being yourself and accepting yourself as is in the true form. So billions of dollars are spent every year to keep people healthy. There are literally thousands of health and fitness and diet and self-improvement books that you can pick up off the shelf. You might be asking yourself, what am I really going to learn in this book? So what am I really going to learn here with Karen? Is it just another diet filled with things I have to do and goals I have to set? My answer to you, my friend, is no. While most books on this topic are centered around weight loss, this book is centered around being weightless. Odds are you are one of millions of people that are just wanting to improve your health and not be on the cover of a magazine. You are not looking for crash diets or to cut out food groups for the rest of your life. Been there, done that. Odds are you are tired of every plan you've tried being centered around weight and measurement, thinking you are only successful if those numbers are decreasing. That makes your experience way different from the people that most standard diet and exercise books are written for. They're written for people that don't want to be more self-aware. Most diet books most people that don't want to be self-aware want a set of rules and a meal plan that is designed for everyone, with the goal of weight loss being the center of success. This book is not about giving you a list of rules to follow and weigh-ins to do. It's about living your healthful life on your terms, with mind, body, and purpose all centered around feeling weightless. You will be measuring a level of energy as success, tapping into who you are, shattering self-sabotage, and living your life in motion on your terms. If weight loss is your goal and you have weight to lose, you won't ever be defeated. You'll be in charge. I share 21 years of knowledge, discoveries, strategies, and ups and downs from my personal weight loss journey, and I take you with me through the years of maintenance and the ugly places in between. You are in the right place if you are tired and frustrated of hearing, reading, and seeing in the media that a healthy body lies in a clothing size or a number on a scale that seems so far away. This book is for you if you are tired of the ugly whispers you hear in your ears when you look in the mirror. If you have signed up to all the diets in the universe only to feel defeated and worse about yourself than when you started, keep reading. This book is for you. And if you never want to go on a diet again and want to be your healthiest self, this book is for you. If you do have weight to lose and that is your goal, this book is for you, because you will sidestep the agony of wondering what you can do to keep the weight off, and you will learn to enjoy the process. This book is for you if you have been on a diet your whole life and you are terrified of what will happen if you go off of it. This book is for you if you want simple solutions that will keep you living energetically beyond measures of size or scale. Hello. This book is for you if you want to contribute to the beautiful images in all shapes and sizes that our daughters and granddaughters will see in themselves as we move through time and space. This book is for you if you are really tired of the media putting their views of beauty in front of us, our children and our grandchildren. It has begun to change, yes, but we still have work to do. We can shift the look of beauty to the authentic tone that it's meant to be. This book is for you if you've ever wondered if people who seem to have all the motivation, discipline, and consistency in the universe with diet and exercise have faults. Throughout this book, I share all of mine. You'll learn to be free from the chains of diet, to live energetically, and to be weightless. So who is Karen Wilson? Who am I? Growing up, I wanted to be a performer, but that is really hard, they said. I started writing stories at 7, like I talked about in my intro. And, I shared with you the type of stories I would write. They were like personal things, like the puppy that I kidnapped, how to catch and gut a fish, like my dad taught me. And so I thought, maybe I'll be a journalist, I said. They don't put people like us on TV, they said. Oh, you'd be so pretty if you just lost 50 pounds. Maybe I'll write a book, I said. Writers don't make money, they said. But who said anything about making money? You're too short. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You need to lose weight. You'd be so pretty if. You'd be more successful if. You'd be more attractive if. Your thighs are thunderous. Your butt is getting bigger. How many times have you in your life have those phrases been said to you? And how many times were they your own voice? I didn't want to write a book on weight loss. I really didn't. What seemed to be the biggest surprise to me was that when I lost the weight, I was absolutely shocked. I had already accepted my heavy, robust, big-boned frame and expected my life would always be the same. It's in my DNA. Another thing that surprised me was the struggle after I lost the weight. The struggle to maintain my weight loss. And the toughest part of all was the struggle to find me. Me actually defined by me. I contributed to the noise myself, to the media, thinking that a smaller me was a better me. I would post before and after photos on social media, and I'd feel a rush of dopamine for the 10 minutes as all the compliments came flying in. It did feel wrong. It felt so wrong. But I did it because I thought it was the only way that people that would believe that I could help them. If I had physical evidence that people could see me. Nobody saw me posing 30 times to get the right angle and adding a couple filters that, would show off the definition. Before writing this book, I thought, will people actually take health and fitness advice from the healthier version of me? I know how to lose weight. I know how to gain weight. I know I am the same person on the inside with the same value to the world both ways. That was harder than the weight loss itself. In the peaks and the valleys of the last 21 years, I discovered how to be weightless. But it doesn't always mean that I am. I spent 17 combined years in the health and beauty industry as a cosmetician and a fitness and health leader. I know firsthand that we are beautiful. We are all beautiful. And when we feel beautiful, we are way more attractive to ourselves and the ones we love. When we feel beautiful, isn't this true? We have more confidence, more energy, and have a weightless aura attached to us. We can get more of our purpose-driven goals and dreams in action when we center our energy around feeling good. Looking good just automatically follows. So what's in the book? Well, in order to truly take control of your health and wellness, it's incredibly important to start with you, your mindset, your desires, and what the picture of health looks like for you. In chapter 1, which we will be doing next week, I take you on a tour of the ugly side of weight loss and bring you into my experiences of a changing mindset and body. I share my biggest mistakes and discoveries through the entire book, but in chapter 1, we go deep. In chapter 1, we also start the self-discovery process, discussing what a good wellness program looks like and how to identify if you are on the right track. One person may be retired, and another person may have a family to contribute to and work full-time at the same time, which is why chapter 2, we jump right into building and discovering your why power and your personal why timeline. In chapter 3, we dive into setbacks. We all know they are out there, the things that stop us in our tracks and slow us down. We'll identify possible setbacks, and I'll share simple solutions to keep you moving forward. Self-sabotage and imposter syndrome, sometimes they can be a thing. One on each shoulder whispering in your ear. So chapters 4, 5, and 6 are dedicated to these two little characters. You might be thinking, do I actually have them in my life? I reveal where they hide so you can reframe the way they talk to you. In chapter 7, we discuss numbers and forms of measurement for progress markers. And the goal of this book is to be weightless. But if your intention is to lose a little in the process of changing habits, I'm going to share with you the best ways and the worst ways to measure progress. In chapter 8, we discuss the difference between inflammation and fat. And I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so I try to explain it in easy ways and point you in the direction of where to go if you need more self-discovery. I share my experiences in how inflammation affects mindset and your health. We do move into diets and why they stop working in chapter 9. I share with you what you can do instead of dieting to slowly ease your way into a healthier eating pattern. This is not a diet, but rather an intuitive way of energetically eating. I won't give you a meal plan because you're not a one-size-fits-all person. I share with you lists of food that can supercharge your health and suggest how to combine them. So, just pretty simple. In chapter 10, we're combining all the knowledge from chapter 7 and 8, and we hit the grocery store with your detective hat on. Maybe that episode, when we get there, maybe I should bring you to the grocery store with me. I wonder if they'd allow that. I've done that before. You'll be armed with your own list of staples, a list of hidden sugars to watch for, as well as preservatives to avoid. Again, this is very basic, and you are your own advocate. It is not a diet. Body love. While all the chapters above are about liking your body and loving yourself, chapter 11 goes a little deeper in body love exercises and simple ways to deepen your mindset, assisting your most energetic self to emerge. People talk. They want to help. They say things without understanding the effects words can have, especially during vulnerable times of transformation. It's a noisy world. When we tune into everything, which is why we address handling compliments, judgments, and advice from others in chapter 12. I'm kind of like leaning over, aren't I? We bring it all home in chapter 13. By this point, you have been working through your own Be Weightless blueprint, and this chapter sets you up to ensure you have your fail-proof, self-customized wellness plan moving forward. You are free. You are weightless. Now that you know what you're in for, let's begin. So that's the first introduction to the book. I feel like we will not be going through every chapter in every live in the full entirety. I know for sure chapter 1 is thick. It has a lot in it, so I know for sure I will be breaking it up into a few pieces. But I also know for sure that I will be reading a little bit from this book. If you have your copy already, that's great. If you don't have a copy and you just feel like listening in, that's fine. I didn't write it not to share it. So whatever works. If you have purchased a copy, go to beweightless.ca, even if you haven't. And there are some bonus materials. So there is a Be Weightless journal that kind of walks you through all of the discovery questions in the book, and that's completely free. And do you know what? Like, I'm just letting you know, if you don't have your receipt number, this is probably silly to put on live, but it's true. My system is not smart enough to know if you have a receipt number or not. So just reach out to me and I'll give you a number to put in there so that you're able to have your free access on that. And so I think that what the purpose of this is just start opening up conversations on, on Instagram, on areas that Instagram, YouTube, wherever you find this recording lives as well. And I'd love to hear from you, your comments about things like body image, self-sabotage, maybe what you struggle with, what you don't struggle with. If you feel like you don't want to put something that personal in the comments where it lives, feel free again to just message me. I'd love to open up the topic and have your question be answered anonymously. So there's that too. So thank you so much for joining me live on this. This is the first time, so it was a little long. Like I said, I'd like to be doing these lives about half of this time. So meet me back here next week at 10 Pacific Standard Time. And this is done live on Instagram, and later it will be up on YouTube. But not done live on YouTube. So it's a little bit different. And I appreciate all of you that have come in and joined. I would like to, the reason why I would like to keep the reading shorter is so that we could have a little bit more time for discussion for those of you that show up, because that's really what it's all about. So thank you so much, and I will see you again next week. All right.